Faith is not proven by what you plan to do. It's revealed by what you actually do when no one's watching. You can pray for clarity all day long, but eventually God says, daughter, it's time to move. Hey, beautiful friend. Welcome to Fearless and Worthy Woman, walking boldly in your calling. I'm your host, Alexandria Daugherty, and this is where faith meets real life. Around here, we believe in who God says we are, obey his calling, lead with confidence, and do the work faithfully, because you were never meant to play small with the gifts he's given you. We are wrapping up our Do series today, and we're talking about what it really looks like to live obedience as a lifestyle, not just as a moment. So grab your coffee, open your heart, and let's get into it. I used to think obedience was about big, dramatic moments. Quitting the job, starting the business, stepping onto the stage. But what I have learned is that real obedience usually happens in the quiet. It's choosing to get up when you feel unseen. It's being kind when you're misunderstood. It's doing the small, unseen things that nobody claps for, but heaven notices. There was definitely a time when I thought God's favor was attached to outcomes. If something grew fast or looked successful, I assumed I was doing something right. But when the fruit slowed down, I started questioning everything. What he has showed me, though, was that obedience was never about results. It was about relationship. It was about trusting him enough to move when he says move. Even when it doesn't make sense, even when it doesn't feel fair, and even when you're tired of trying. That's where consistency becomes sacred. It's not you performing for God's approval. It's you partnering with his presence. Let's talk about what's actually happening in your mind when obedience turns from a moment into a lifestyle. The brain learns through repetition, but not just through doing the same thing over and over. It learns through emotional reinforcement. That means every time you act in alignment with your faith and feel peace afterward, your brain registers that as safety. Over time, obedience becomes less of a battle and more of a rhythm. Neuroscientists call this habit consolidation. It's the process where repeated actions move from conscious effort into automatic behavior. At first, it's hard. You have to think about it. You have to fight that urge to quit. But as your brain recognizes the pattern, it starts saving energy by turning obedience into instinct. And here is where it gets powerful. When you obey God repeatedly, your mind literally begins to associate his voice with safety. You stop bracing for loss and start expecting peace. That's not self-help. That's how God wired your body to trust him. James 2:17 says, faith by itself is not accompanied, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. That verse can be so intimidating. Like God is demanding this performance. What it really means is that faith can't live in theory. It has to be expressed through movement. It's not that God needs your effort. It's that you need the experience of walking it out to know that he is faithful. Faith and obedience are like breath and heartbeat. One keeps you alive, the other keeps you moving. The moment you start treating obedience as partnership instead of pressure, you'll find peace in places that used to feel heavy. So our faith step of the day. Today, I want you to ask yourself this simple question. What's one small thing I already know God has asked me to do and haven't done yet? Maybe it's forgiving someone. Maybe it is resting when you've been striving. Maybe it's simply finishing something you've started. Whatever it is, I invite you to take one step toward it today. And ladies, it doesn't have to be this ginormous step. It could just be a baby step. But keep showing up with those baby steps. And as you do, I encourage you to pray this: God, help me to trust you more than I trust my plans. Let obedience become my natural rhythm, not just an occasional reaction. And if you feel led, write that prayer down. Revisit it this week. Let it anchor you in peace instead of feeling the pressure. I hope today's episode reminded you that obedience is not a performance. I hope that you instead view it as a partnership. Keep showing up, keep doing the small things faithfully, and keep walking boldly in your calling. If this spoke to your heart, share it with a friend who needs to hear it, and make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss your faith step of the day. And before you go, grab your free Truth Exchange Worksheet. You'll find the link in the description. Until next time, remember, you are worthy, you are loved, and you are called, empowering you always.